One of the great mysteries of the universe is why a popular series changes its name when it's released on the Sega Genesis. Let me reference Thunder Force 4, which was released as Lightning Force, but they didn't even spell it right. At least for this game, they just made up their own word. Sagaia. I think it's a made-up word. Maybe it's a place in someone's imagination. You know what's easier to say, spell, and pronounce? Darius II. Unless I mispronounced it. Darius II, which is what this is. A 1991 release from Taito. From the title standpoint, I always got this game confused with Gary's. But it's not. It's Darius II, the sequel to Taito's Darius. There's many games in the series. I've reviewed Darius Twin for the Super Nintendo, and Darius Gaiden on the Sega Saturn. Sagaia, I really have no idea how to pronounce this, is one of the most difficult spaceship shooters on the Sega Genesis. This is the Einhander for the Genesis. A game that is absolutely merciless until you've played it quite a bit and memorized many attack patterns. The reward is that it's a fun game that has numerous different environments because, like the other games in the series, you can choose your path through the game. It also looks and sounds great on the Genesis. This game was recently donated by Mike in New Jersey. Thank you. Mike donated a whole bunch of cool games, including one called Amok, or Amok. I can never pronounce any of the games he donated, for the Sega Saturn. It's the clapping sound that makes that song so awesome. Level 1 in Darius 2 is not too challenging, but level 2 comes along and just starts bitch slapping you. And the pimp backhand continues for the rest of the game. Enemies approach you from the front, showering you with bullets and then attack you from behind. There's cannons and spikes emanating from the ceiling and the floor. You've really got your work cut out for you here in Sagaia. Fortunately, you have some pretty heavy-duty power-ups that you can collect, and the trick to getting through this game is not losing any of them. Especially the shield. You need a shield in this game. The weapons and the shield build upon each other, so you do become progressively more powerful throughout the game, but so do the enemies. Recording for this review, I have been taking Path C, but went with Route B for this particular game and flew into some enemies I wasn't expecting, losing my shields. Repetition is one of the keys to success in any spaceship shooter, particularly this one. Your survival really hangs on not only your reflexes, but your screen positioning. Because for many of the levels, you're flying in a very tight, confined space, so you only have so much leeway. And when a group of enemies attacks you from the front, showering you with bullets, and then something comes at you from behind, you just need to be in one spot to take them all out. And one of the joys in playing any Darius game from Taito is finding the best path for you to fly through the game. Even though there's numerous different environments, they're not really all that different from each other. You'll encounter many of the same enemies, but some levels are definitely harder than others. The game gives you a choice between auto fire for your guns and your bomb, or manual fire so that you push the buttons. I'm playing with auto fire, but you can also set it to manual and then use a controller that gives you the option to select your own rate of fire. This game has 4 different difficulty settings, and normally I play them on normal, but to get started with this one, I'm playing on easy, which is not that easy. It's the best way to memorize the enemies, because once you figure out what bad guys are coming at you, you then know what they're going to shoot at you, and that allows you to enter each level with some strategy and screen positioning. If you're just getting started with spaceship shooters on the Genesis, There's a number of affordable games that are probably more approachable than this one. Arrow Flash and Thunder Force 3 in particular are good ones to start with. Sagaia is a challenging game for this genre, and if you like these games, it's affordable, it's not too hard to find for the Genesis. Let's watch a slightly different route that I took through the game, and after you've memorized a couple of the levels, you can then start experimenting with where you go from there, and that's I think the best part of the Darius games. Seeing what levels are what, because it's fun. They allow you to do it, you may as well take advantage of it. Here, it's this guy again. Many of the end bosses make appearances in numerous levels. But that's the game. Sagaia Darius II. Thanks again to Mike in New Jersey for this excellent donation. I believe this is originally a 1989 arcade game and is available on numerous other game consoles. Darius II, and you can also play 2-player on screen at the same time.